Your body has three main ways to produce ATP, the energy currency that powers every muscle contraction. They don't operate in clean sequence, they're always contributing simultaneously, just in different proportions depending on what you're doing. Understanding all three and which one creatine directly expands is what makes the performance benefits of creatine predictable rather than mysterious. The oxidative system is the most familiar. It uses oxygen to burn fat and carbohydrate through the mitochondria, producing ATP at a modest but essentially unlimited rate for as long as fuel and oxygen are available. This is the system that powers a long run, a cycling session, or any sustained effort where you can still hold a conversation. It's efficient but slow. The peak ATP production rate of the oxidative system is far too low to support maximal explosive effort. The glycolytic system is faster. It breaks down glucose without oxygen, or with oxygen in its aerobic variant, and can generate ATP at a rate high enough to sustain intense exercise for roughly 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Its byproduct in the anaerobic version is lactate and hydrogen ions, which contribute to the burning, acidic sensation, and eventual fatigue of hard intervals or lifting sets taken to failure. The phosphocreatine system is in a different category. It doesn't burn glucose, doesn't require oxygen, and produces no metabolic byproducts. It regenerates ATP by a single enzymatic step. Creatine kinase transfers a phosphate group from phosphocreatine directly onto ADP, producing ATP in milliseconds. The phosphocreatine system is your fastest energy source by a wide margin, faster than glycolysis can spin up, faster than any other pathway in human physiology. But it has a hard capacity limit. The reservoir of phosphocreatine in your muscle fibers can sustain maximal power output for approximately 8 to 12 seconds before it's depleted enough to require slower systems to compensate. This is precisely why the first few reps of a heavy set feel clean and powerful, and the later reps feel like dragging through concrete. The phosphocreatine system is running dry. It's also why sprint speed declines from rep 1 to rep 10 in repeated sprint protocols. The reservoir empties faster than the aerobic system can recharge it within a short rest period. Creatine supplementation directly and specifically expands this reservoir. Unsupplemented individuals typically hold their muscle phosphocreatine stores at 60 to 80% of their maximum capacity. Consistent supplementation at 3 to 5 grams per day pushes that to 90 to 100% of maximum in most individuals over 3 to 4 weeks. The performance consequence of that 20 to 40% increase in phosphocreatine capacity is not subtle. Peak power on single all-out efforts improves measurably. Reps before failure increase typically by 1 to 3 reps at a given weight. Phosphocreatine recovery between bouts of intense effort is faster, which means you start the next set with a more fully recharged system. And total training volume across a session increases because each set is marginally more productive. These effects compound across training cycles. An extra rep per set across all sets in a session, across all sessions in a training block, adds up to a substantially higher cumulative training stimulus than the same work without creatine. The same biochemistry also operates between play stoppages in team sports. A basketball player has 45 seconds to recover between possessions. A footballer has a variable but often short recovery window between sprints. A tennis player has 90 seconds between games. In each case, the rate at which phosphocreatine rebounds during that rest determines how much power is available for the next burst. Higher muscle creatine means faster recharge, which is why repeated sprint sports see consistent creatine benefits even when the individual efforts are shorter than the maximum phosphocreatine window. There are two important caveats worth naming. Creatine does not improve aerobic capacity directly. VO2 max, lactate threshold, and oxidative enzyme activity are not meaningfully changed by creatine supplementation in the short term. This is not the energy system creatine is working on. Creatine also does not help prolonged low-intensity aerobic exercise in a direct, acute way, though it can support endurance athletes indirectly through higher quality interval training and better recovery. The cleaner the match between your sport's energy demands and the phosphocreatine window, the larger and more direct the creatine benefit. 5 grams a day, every day, keeps that reservoir full. Everything else is noise.